Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. This is my final video for the night. It is about racism. It is not pleasant, and if you are a Trump fan, now it's time for you to go watch something else. Specifically, one of my other videos that you might thoroughly enjoy, or someone else's. If you are a Trump fan, this video is not for you. If you are a child, this video is not for you, because children shouldn't have to go through anything racial, because children are the only people on earth that are not racist until we fuck them up and turn them into racist. Let us begin. So the other day I was watching a news broadcast about Mexicans voting for Trump. And I thought to myself, I literally thought to myself, what the fuck is wrong with them? I think I might have seen a few other Asianist people voting for Trump. And I thought to myself again, what the fuck is wrong with you? When I seen blacks voting for Trump, I already said to myself, and as racist as this gonna be, I said, you Uncle Tom motherfuckers, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I brought this up because of the Central Park 5, where the kids that he assumed were guilty of raping this young white lady deserve nothing but death. And I said, I wonder if he would have said that if those kids that raped that white lady were white kids that raped that white lady. And I'm not trying to be derivative towards white people. I have white ancestry, I have Native American ancestry, and I have black ancestry. And so for any Native American that's voting for Trump, standing rock. That's the best I can give you. Standing rock. Why the fuck would you vote for somebody who made other tribe suffer? Alright? Just putting that out there. As far as Mexicans go, Mexicans, I have nothing but the greatest respect for you because you are also Native Americans. Even though they don't count you because you weren't born on Native American soil of America, they don't count you as registered Native Americans, but you are of a Native American tribe, which means you are either Aztec, Incan, Mayan, or the Amazon tribe. So, that being said, you are biologically Native American, which means you are also biologically Asian. And I want to make this abundantly clear. The things that they've done to Mexicans at the border, and immigrants in general, but Mexicans at the border, separating the parents from the kids, trying to deport like 7 and 8-year-old kids back to a country that they fled for amnesty, looking for help. What the fuck is wrong with you? Same thing with Cubans, Colombians, and all these other motherfuckers. Why the fuck are you voting for Trump? You are obviously having a moral complex issue, and I am sorry. If you are a Trump fan, I already told you at the beginning of this video, this is not for you. But if you are black, Asian, etc., and you are voting for Trump, there is something seriously wrong with you. If you are white and you are voting for Trump, forgive me. I'm giving you a complete hall pass. Alright? Let me explain. Because, see, back when Obama was running, he got the black vote for the simple fact that he was black the first time. Whether he was going to do something for black people or not, black people rallied together because he was black. But Obama's not all the way black. He's mixed. His mom was white. His dad was black. So, like me, who hasn't really gotten a lot of support from black people, he got the black support because he was black. And black people wanted to be heard. And black people wanted a black man in that office, even though the first black man that was in that office was Bill Clinton. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Even though Bill Clinton is white as the driven snow, he was a black man. Anyway, and he did a lot for blacks, whether y'all want to admit it or not. I don't know. I think that was like the first time I ever voted in my life. So, moving on from that. I have watched our president call Mexicans and Asians and immigrants murderers and rapists. He's put all the people that I know that are Asian in danger with the Kung flu. And I had a few white cats. The white cats that are with me, you know what I mean when I give white people a pass. Because a lot of poor white people who voted for Trump are just believing the politics mystical bullshit. And I'm going to tell you honestly, the only reason why Biden has my vote is because Warren was no longer on the ticket. Now, I'm going to tell you, this was my thoughts from the jump, and you guys can hate me all you fucking want. I was only going to really vote for either Elizabeth Warren or Andrew Yang, because I thought it would be cool because Elizabeth Warren, with her 1.16% Native American DNA, would be awesome, and maybe she would help Native Americans out because no president has really, really, really focused on Native American issues. Andrew Yang, an Asian. What fucking history would that be to have a Chinese American? Yeah, I think he's Chinese. Yang is an interchangeable name, so he might not be Chinese. But Yang is definitely an interchangeable name. I knew some Yangs that were actually from Vietnam and some that was Korean. So it's an interchangeable name. But to have the first Asian president, and he's younger than me, and he understands Asian issues and black issues and gay issues and all that other shit, I was down with him. And then there was Buttigieg. Those three people were the only three people that I was really voting for. I wasn't voting for Sanders. I wasn't voting for Biden. I wasn't really voting for God damn it, Miss Harris, and I wasn't voting for the other black guy on the ticket. And it wasn't because they were black. It's just that, alright, Miss Harris is multicultural or biracial. I'm multicultural, there's a difference. She's biracial. And so she would have been my pick if Warren didn't didn't get on the ticket. And she would have also been my pick if Yang wasn't gonna be on there, and if Buddha, the goddamn gay dude, if he wouldn't have been on there. But then she kind of dropped before everybody else dropped. I was like, this fucking sucks. So that kind of wiped her out. And then Buddha, god damn it, Booty Duty, he dropped, and I was kind of like, it would be cool to have a fucking gay president. Don't judge me. I thought it would be cool to have a gay president or an Asian president or a female president that was part Native American. Even if her Native American lineage is way less than mine, I thought it would be cool. And, I'm sorry, two black presidents, been there, done that, cool. Let's get a Native American. Let's get an Asian. I wanted to see diversity. I'm an equal opportunist for the most part. But when you start looking at these things with Trump, let me save this in case something goes wrong. You start looking at these things with Trump, and if you listen to the shit that flies out of his mouth, and then I sit there and said to myself, I don't understand how anybody black would sit there and vote for this dude, because even Omarosa outwardly admitted to saying she heard him use the N-word in the White House. I'm pretty sure he's not the only president to use the N-word in the White House. I'm pretty sure that Obama may have said it once or twice too. Nobody's caught it, so if you didn't catch it, it didn't happen, But not too many people who worked in the Obama administration got fired and left and wrote a book. Now, I will tell you the one guy who probably should got a book deal was the military guy who was he was an Asian dude. And they were talking about the military hospitals. And this guy basically became the fucking fall guy. And I can't remember his name, but I do know that he was 100% Asian. And he was supposed to be at the top of the military hospital chain. So he was supposed to be having people run the show beneath him, checking on veterans and why our treatment hasn't been great and all that shit. And that was like one of the last things Obama did before he got out of office. He fired the Asian guy who was in charge of all the military hospitals. There's a fuck ton of military hospitals. So I will tell you where the Asian guy went wrong. He went wrong by not checking in on his subordinates and making sure that they do their fucking job. So basically he became the fucking fall guy for all the people who was under him who wasn't doing their job. And I got dead proof that military hospitals were not treating veterans, especially World War II veterans, properly. Because one day I was there and my dad and we were on time, but for some reason, whatever military hospital this veteran dude was in, he's a World War II vet. I'm still kicking myself in the ass. I don't know if the guy's still alive. I'm kicking myself in the ass because I should have gave him my spot, and I didn't. But the pressure was on because it was before my hip replacement when I was there. It's like, you're going to take this spot. You can't give it to him. And I was like, well, he's been here. He just wasn't on time. And instead of them sending him to a military hospital closer to his house, they sent him all the way to Richmond from wherever the fuck he came from. And I mean, he had to travel a long fucking way. So if he came, not from, Roanoke, but he came, even further, I think, Bristol, Virginia, or some shit like that, closer to Tennessee. I don't know why they wouldn't have sent him to Roanoke or whatever, but they didn't send him to Roanoke. They sent his ass to McGuire. And so when it got down to it, I was like, Dad, I think I should get this dude my spot. And Dad's like, yeah, I think you should get this dude your spot. And so when I talked to the doctor about that, they said, no, you cannot give him your spot because it's your spot and he should have been here on time. And I said, but he came all the way from fucking damn Tennessee type area and he needs to be seen. He's in a wheelchair. No, not like an old wheelchair. He was in a mobile chair. But they just would not let him take my spot and all that other stuff. And I still kick myself in the ass about that because I should have insisted a little bit harder because he's a World War II vet. Like one of the dying kind. The ones that there are very few of them left, if at all. And they don't get treated the way they should be getting treated. And one, if you gotta travel 7 hours and you still can't get on time, you should still be seen regardless of if you missed your slot or not. But one, why would you make this man travel 7 hours to this hospital? And if you're gonna do that, then you should have made his appointment for him to come the day before so that he could spend the night in the hospital so they could see him first thing. But that's not how that shit works. So when the guy got fired, I kind of understand, but I was still kind of mad because, like, nah, they just use this guy as a fucking fall guy for that shit, And when I get back on my topic now, when I see how our president talks about our vets being losers and suckers, so any vet, if you're voting for this guy, there's something wrong with you. I know, like, if you're overseas and you're voting, you don't really know what the fuck's going on over here in America because some of the news channels don't really reach y'all. But anytime that a person can go and say something bad about John McCain, who was a POW, when nobody in the Trump clan has even served, volunteered to serve, looked towards serving, or any of that shit, you have no right to just fucking waste the ink on the paper for this asshat, man. And especially, I got family to serve. I got family to serve right now. I got a cousin who's young who went in when I got out or just went in. My bro's son is going in now. I got other family members that are going in to serve so that we all can sleep freely and safely at night. And for anyone to disrespect a soldier, even a dishonorable discharged soldier, is still a fucking soldier. And it's fucked up that a person who's never served, whose family hasn't served, who hasn't looked at serving, has the balls to say soldiers are losers and suckers. That's just disrespectful. It's disrespectful to every soldier that's ever put on them fucking dog tags. And I'm sorry, I still have my dog tags. They're not going anywhere. But for every soldier who's ever served, you should not be voting for this guy. Not even on your deathbed. You should not be voting for this guy. And in this video, I watched Mexicans and Colombians and Cubans talk about how Biden is supposed to be a socialist or whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what that shit is. I don't really care. But a socialist and a dictator are pretty much two different things. But Donald Trump wants to have a regime, and that shit's not going to happen. America killed regimes around here. Oh, I know. You guys don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? Pocahontas was a princess. A Powhatan princess. But the Constitution says that we can't have any royalty. Even in sovereign nations of Native American tribes, the royalty does not count outside of the sovereign nation. So how in the Sam hell is the president supposed to have royalty if the people who initially were here first lost all their royalty? Which goes back to, if you're Native American and you're voting for this guy, there's something wrong with you. Or maybe you forgot about Standing Rock. Or maybe you forgot about the Pocahontas jokes. Or maybe you forgot about the casinos because they don't like Indians to me, because the natives' lands and the treaties and things aren't really being followed through, so you don't get money. So when you think about shit like that, you're like, okay, but a lot of people are going to vote this guy anyway. And I'm like, you know what? I want to make this video as less racist as possible, but I'm telling you I can't. And I don't have anything against any of you who are white and voting for Trump. I don't expect that much from you, other than the fact that, it's the white factor. But at the same time, there are a lot of white people who didn't vote for Trump. So it's not equal footing, but there were a lot of people who voted for Trump that are white, and there's a lot of people who didn't vote for Trump that are white. And that's the white war between the white people that I have no part in. And if you guys that are white want to fight each other over Trump, I'm just going to sit back and pull the popcorn. I'm going to be honest, because this video doesn't really affect you. No, this video is for the Mexicans, the Cubans, the Asians, and the blacks that are voting for this guy. I was following the lady on TikTok, and she had me hook, line, and sinker until she said Trump 2020. And the reason why I stopped following her because she said Trump 2020, because she clearly doesn't understand that a lot of Americans don't care which Asian you are when they are attacking you. Alright? Native Americans are biologically Asian. I have been blessed to not be attacked by anybody thinking, hey, you might be Hawaiian, which are biologically Asian. Hey, you might be Samoan, biologically Asian. You might be Mexican, biologically Asian, because Native Americans all hailed out of Asia, through Siberia, crossed the Bering Straits, splintered Eskimo, Inuit, and then Native American tribes of billions, and then some of us wiped out by smallpox, and chickenpox, and measles, and diseases that we would have never had Marco Polo not stole gunpowder from China, and musket balls were not a thing. So, I plead to you guys, why are y'all voting for this man? And especially the immigrants that came up from Mexico when it was all Mexicans are murderers and rapists. But you guys don't want to hear that. Well, there are news clips for it, and you can find them just as easy as you can find a clip that Billy Bush doesn't have a job because he didn't do anything but his job and got fired. Donald Trump did all the talking. Well, I'm rich and famous and I can grab women by the pussy. Alright? Why does Billy Bush not have a job? No, I'm. This is probably career suicide for me, but I'm just gonna speak it out anyway because I don't have a career. So what? But I will tell you this, if you are Mexican and you are voting for this dude, I want you to go back to that first thing with the immigrants and build the wall and how immigrant kids were getting separated from their parents by the thousands, and you're a Mexican and you want to vote for this guy who treats your fellow Mexicans like shit. If you're Asian, you're probably not worried because you're not Chinese. Well, he just hasn't gotten to your Asian yet. That's just that right there. Because I'm pretty sure I don't give a flying fuck what anybody says. Kung flu sounds racist to me. Chinese virus has put all of my Chinese friends in danger of being attacked by racist blacks, racist whites, and racist anybody else. This seasoned Asian person decide, hey, this motherfucker might have the virus. I'm going to fuck him up. Or her. One of my fellow classmates told us Thursday that a woman was looking at her in a fucked up manner because she was Asian and she wouldn't stop looking at her. And at the time, my classmate didn't have her mask on. And so the lady was looking at her and she had to tell the lady to stop looking at her. And she kind of was in fear for her life because she's fucking Asian. And a lot of racist people don't know the difference between Chinese, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Laos, Native Americans, Indonesia, Malaysia, Samoa. I'm missing like 9 more. Alright? But because of the old stereotype of we all look the same, I had to throw myself in there because I'm part Native American. I look more Native American than black. And most people, when they're mixed, people don't really know what the fuck you are. But most people, they're like, they don't care. They saw an Asian person. Let's stab them. Let's beat them up. Let's throw alcohol on them. Let's set their ass on fire. Let's burn them. Let's beat them with sticks over cans and shit. Racist people are just racist people. Now, I'm not going to say that there aren't any racist Asians. I'm not going to say that. Because every species on Earth has some racist people in it. Mixed people are racist. Not me. I don't have the right to be a racist because I'm the 3 primary genetic bodies of America, which are Native American, black, and white. And Native Americans are biologically Asian, so I can fit anywhere. Unlike my mom, though, I can't blend in with a bunch of white people. And my mom has blended in with a bunch of white people on more than one occasion, and I have lost her. And my brother's girlfriend has also lost her. So therefore, But the proof of the matter is, if you're in the category of what I named, if you're black and you're voting for Trump, there's something wrong with your moral compass. If you are Asian and you are voting for Trump, there's definitely something wrong with your moral compass. If you are Native American Asian and you're voting for Trump, there's something wrong with your moral compass. If you are Mexican and you are voting for Trump, well, he wanted your people to build a fucking wall, and you were going to pay for it. And then when your fellow Mexicans was immigrating up here from safety from the cartels that are killing the fuck out of innocent people and children, and you want to vote for this guy who calls all of you Mexicans murderers and rapists and drug smugglers and child rapists and child pornography and everything under the sun, and couriers where they sew the drugs into your stomach or some shit, and you go to the hospital when you get out for your freedom and your green card. You're smuggled over here with a couple of pounds of kilo inside your intestines, or you're keistered up your ass, that kind of thing. And you guys are voting for this guy. And finally, you military soldiers, you soldiers, you active duty and inactive duty soldiers, you're voting for this guy who could care two shits about you and healthcare. And worse than that, he thinks every soldier that serves are suckers and losers. My name is James Williams Jr. Go Google this shit that I'm talking about. If you don't want to believe me, then you'll believe it for somebody else. There's more than one source. Not just NBC and not just CNN. Fox is starting to turn on this guy too, so that should probably give you a hint. But you can go to all these other news sites and Google the things that I've mentioned. They're probably wiping them out as we speak right now. But think about what I said. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. If I have offended any of you followers who are Trump fans and you choose to leave me, I'm not going to be mad at you. I will respect you more, because then that way I know where I stand. I'm not going to judge you for it, because it's not like I click on my followers list and start reading off who's following me. I don't have time to do that. But more importantly, truth be told, I fucking don't know how to do that. So, that being said, I will never know who you are. I am forever grateful that I have 104 of you. And if I lose all 104 of you from this video, I'm still going to be forever grateful, because I told the truth and I came into your life, and I thank you for allowing me that. And if you choose to never come back, I'm not going to be mad, and I thank you very fucking much for letting me be in your life for a little bit of time that I was there. But I'm going to stick to my guns. I already voted for Biden because I couldn't vote for Elizabeth Warren. So, you guys have fun. Get your asses out there and vote. See what happens. Be seeing ya. If I can find the cursor. That's been a thing tonight.